Okay, again, I'm not sure if I said my name, Jim Palmer. Several of the trustees are on, might be coming and going, but Mayor Marvin, trustee Helen Knapp, also trustee Barron's, and as I said, our consulting engineers. And again, at the end of this call, we'll give you an updated project schedule. But AJ, I think, will take us through all the work that's been done over the course of the past several months. And I guess also, as we've taken questions that come up in the discussion. So feel free to raise your hand and we'll address your question. So AJ, do you want to go ahead and start then by just giving the latest summary to date?
Yes, of course. Hi, everybody. Advanced Thanksgiving greetings to all. I'm following up. I guess I'm going to basically summarize a little bit, Jim, because last meeting we had, it was in the beginning of October. And at that meeting, I presented some hydraulic analysis that were completed. We suggested that hopefully we should have our plan 75% complete by the end of the first week in November. We have almost 95% plans complete now. They are ready to be walked with the contractor. I'm just going to give you a quick summary of what the completion of the whole project looks like with the summary as you indicated. And I'll share, just for the new folks who have joined us and did not look at the previous presentation or know about the previous presentation, is it okay if I take like a couple minutes to recap where we started up as a summary of this project, Jim?
Absolutely, I think that'd be most helpful. And again, since I was talking before I started the recording, for the viewers that will be watching it on the recording, right, we want to give a little summary here because, again, while the focus was on addressing Hamilton, the Hamilton and Sussex neighborhoods, which literally have been impacted with flooding on their streets and in their homes and their basements, and that is in part because the water, as AJ has explained in previous drawings, the intersection, if you will, of Hamilton and Sussex is the low point for that particular area. But there are other improvements that are going to help that we're going to go through that will help the residents on Elm Rock along with their backyards, etc. So sorry, AJ, yep.
Okay.
Take that over.
So with that being said, just going to try to share my screen. It'll be okay for everybody to look at it. If anybody if you want me to raise my volume, mic, and everything, please let me know. Can you hear me all well?
Yes, you're fine, AJ.
Yes.
That's
yes.
Good. Okay, that's very good. All right. Just gonna see if I can share my screen right here successfully. Just 1 second. You guys are familiar looking at this sheet before. This was the GIS mapping of a section of the village. This is pretty much the southern end of the village. This is the boundary line. If you look at it, Bronxville, Mount Vernon line right here. The circle kind of shows a low-lying area that we have. Our village has, just like many other municipalities, there are some pockets of low-lying areas which does not have a natural drainage system. And it's important to have a good drainage conveyance system for these areas, which naturally ponds because of their low grades and depressions in the ground. So this happens to be one of the area. We looked at it. It's a approximate boundary, not accurate, but kind of shows. Let me pick up a mouse right here. Can you see this marking as I'm moving my hand?
Yes.
Okay, so that's basically Sherman, Hamilton, as we go down, Cross Pond Field, continue to Homesdale, ends into Locust Road, which is pretty much the boundary of the municipal boundary we have at Mount Vernon. This is the natural drainage system, a path. Ultimately, the drain lines goes through Central Parkway to Vernon Parkway and drains into the brook right here at this location. No solid drainage system or continuous drainage system is present on Elm Rock. There is some partial catch basins that are present, but all of that kind of goes through Lee Road and drains back into this area. That's what the current system is. This blue line kind of shows an improved conveyance system, a new catch basin, manhole, and storm pipe that we are proposing. This green line proposes another set of drainage pipe, as Jim indicated, improving the drainage system for the Elm Rock, and goes up and discharge it back into the Pondfield Road drainage system, which kind of goes back into through Leggett Road or past Leggett Road into the brook right at this location. There has been some hydraulic analysis. I'm just going to quickly recap what we had done in the past. If you this is the set of survey. We actually hired a surveyor to survey all these areas that you can look at it. Later on, we actually hired a soil boring contractor to see the underground characteristics of the soil, the rock, the drainage, the water table, and all that. To date, just last week, we were able to get all that information. We have a preliminary information, which is good enough for us to complete our projects to that 95% completion, as I said. These are some of the hydraulic analysis that were done based on these hydraulic analysis, which uses the StormCAT software. Kind of shows, if this green line kind of shows the low-lying area of Hamilton-Sussex intersection. As you can see, this peaks of the mountain kind of shows the hydraulic grade lines and surcharges in this area when you superimpose a storm upwards of 10 to 25 year storm events and all that. There are some improvements that can be made. The lines are pretty flat. Some of the lines are back pitched as well. And those all will be improved as part of the final improvement of the project. Just want to quickly recap what the improvements look like. Now, this is the Elm Rock system that we are proposing, how the pipe's going to go. Again, sharing the old screen back again. This green line is our Elm Rock project, and this blue line is the project that we propose, the improvement that we proposed for the Hamilton-Sussex. So to date, I just want to show you the projects that have been completed. This is the complete design that you're looking at it. Just quickly going through all these sheets to show you they have all pipes, profiles, and details have been completed to a degree that we have planned on this Wednesday to have our selected contractors, which has been selected for emergency repairs. They will be available to walk the site, and we will be taking questions and give these guys a short period of time to bid on the project. I'm also going to show you some of the other documents. This is practically a bid form that has been prepared for contractors to look at it. All of the quantities of the system design has been completed. Once this has all been submitted, we expect that all of this information should be available, hopefully, barring any other detailed questions that cannot be answered right away. Hopefully within 1 week's time after we do the walkthrough. So we review the project, we submit a recommendation for award to the village. And my understanding, Jim, you have already scheduled meetings to review the recommendation award and efficiently look into awarding this project.
Yes, yes.
So I just showed you a little glimpse of everything that has been completed. I just, if you have any questions, you can ask me any questions where we are with the project. I'll keep the screen on. This is an old layout of our hydraulic model system that we were working on.
So AJ, can you review the timeline now? If you don't
Sure, I
mind?
can.
Yeah.
Prepared a very tentative brief timeline schedule. This is fresh. I was just discussing with you, Jim, earlier this morning. What I've done is I put down some dates right out there and some acronyms for the stepwise procedure. We have a pre-bid walk, as I said, this Wednesday on the 22nd. After this walk is complete on a week of 27th, we're just going to take all the questions from our contractors, respond to them, and hopefully by the week of December 4th, we expect them all to submit their cost proposals to us. Once the cost is submitted, we'll probably within a week's time review all the documents that are submitted and prepare our recommendation of award for village and village board to review. Village board, as Jim said, you probably have a week of 18th, Jim, that the village can review all those documents and our recommendation of award to receive a notice of award. Once a notice is provided to us, we'll immediately send the notice to proceed information to the contractor, selected contractor. Duration of both projects is going to be somewhere around 40 to 44 weeks. We have talked to the contractors to see if both projects can be worked on simultaneously at the same time as opposed to doing in series. That's one of the reasons we will probably be entertaining the 3 selected contractors. Two of the 3 contractors are capable of taking both projects at the same time. However, with the bid solicitation, when the results will be available to us, we'll look at it at that time and recommend the village how to proceed in a more effective and efficient manner.
So you expect to start in this year still?
We expect to award the project this year. This project is a pretty big project, so I guess just like any construction project, the contractor is going to submit their shop drawings for our approval. Once the shop drawings are submitted, they will order the material. We have actually communicated with all the material suppliers ahead of time, indicate these guys how the emergency nature of the project. So once the project material is reviewed and approved, the contractor will proceed on ordering the material. This timeline that you're looking at is start to finish based on a tentative schedule that was provided by different contractors to us in the earlier stages of this project. But as I said, after this Wednesday walkthrough and the proposal that we're going to receive from the contractors, we'll know it better, what the exact dates and timelines will be. Excuse me. Yeah.
And AJ, just so the 44 weeks is assuming serial completion, one project and then the next, correct?
Yeah.
No.
44 weeks will be one project to next if they are done in series. But as I indicated, both projects are like transportation wise not connected. So the village can take 2 projects at the same time and have award the 2 contractors. So the project in Elm Rock is a little smaller in size compared to the project in Hamilton-Sussex. However, just from the name, it's pretty clear Elm Rock has rock, and rock excavation is not an easy process. It is a time-consuming process.
Right. Okay. And so this timeline could be significantly sort of enhanced if we were to go in parallel with those 2 projects, not.
Well, if you do projects that are going parallel, we're looking at both projects completed within 40 to 44 weeks. If this is the duration for one project that you're looking at it, 40 to 44 weeks.
I get it. That's okay. That's what I was trying to clarify. So it is
Sure.
It is 44 weeks regardless of whether we're running in serial or parallel.
Yeah, that's the size of the project. As I said, will it be 35 weeks? Very possible. Wait for a couple more weeks till we receive the proposal from contractors. We were unable to get the borings in our hand. I received the soil borings, the rock excavation, the water table, and all that just last week. This information has not been provided to the contractors yet. If I show you, you'll see what I'm talking about. This information is just populated, all the quantities and the rock probes, and these are the soil bores that were done. You guys, thank you for accommodating. There must be a lot of noise in the past few weeks. That's where the rock excavation and borings were going on. So it could possibly, this is a conservative estimate from my end, but we'll see what contractors come back and tell us.
And during the process, we're going to go through hurricane season again. So is there any sort of disruption to the existing drainage system while we're doing the construction, or are they able to kind of parallel track drains so that there's actually more capacity during?
Sure. So none of the existing system we intend to abandon and or disturb. As a matter of fact, as the process is going, typically how the construction works, you go from a downslope to up, depending upon how the contractor takes it. They have challenged and provided and made me learn a few things in the past, but generally speaking, it's normally start from the bottom end, which means where it's easier to push the pipe as opposed to pull the pipe. That's the reason for construction always starting from the bottom end. Most of the time that would enhance the project better as its process goes on. So answer to your question, yes, they will stay in place.
So it's two parallel systems until the completion, is that more or less? And then the old one is taken out and the new
No,
one?
the old one will stay.
Right, right. That's it. And that's important to emphasize first is that, yes, the existing infrastructure is staying. And in the case of the Hamilton-Sussex, I believe the plans call for the new drainage on the opposite side of the street from where the existing drainage is. Correct, AJ?
Yeah. So I'm going to zoom in. So I know it's very difficult to see. This is just the,
So it's all supplemental capacity.
yes.
I have a question. My name's Kristen Smith. Sorry, I'm driving my kid to something right now, so I'm in the car. But I live on Elm Rock Road at 46 Elm Rock Road between White Plains Road and Lee Place. And I just wanted to just make sure I understand. So I see drains on Elm Rock, I guess, until like Oriole. So we have like some kind of existing drainage there, but this would be an additional brand new drainage pipe. Is that correct on Elm Rock?
Yes, Kristen, I was just going to put that screen up so you can see it. I believe one of these three houses you live in.
Yeah, I'm the second house on Elm Rock on the south side of the street.
Okay, so that would be your house where I don't know if you can see my hands moving.
I can't, I'm driving right now just down to the
Oh, okay, I'm
school,
sorry,
but
I didn't hear you, Belle. Okay, good, no problem.
Yes,
sorry.
that's
Yeah.
Kristen's house, yeah.
So
Okay.
we located you.
Thank
we located you. So the system, just to answer without the aid of the drawings, yes, there are some catch basins, and for the analysis of everybody else who's looking at the screen, these are the catch basins that Kristen was talking about on one street, and these are some of the catch basins that are present on the Oriole Place. And they both are connected together and drains into Lee Road, which kind of goes back into this low-lying areas of Hamilton, Sussex, and Sherman and all that, right? So yes, the green line is going to be the one that we're going to add and go, it's going to be a parallel pipe, and we're going to extend it beyond your house, Kristen. And the idea is, because I know all of those houses that are on the south side are the low-lying houses, and their backyards have the lowest elevation. I look at it from the contours, and it's pretty clear to see that your backyard is ponding. And I also see some of the old pipes that are connected to the pipe into Sherman to relieve some of the backyard flooding. So this parallel pipe that is going to be laid on Elm Rock will go sort of east of your driveway and catches the water and continues to go down Elm Rock, rather than pushing water to Lee Place and drain it into a different basin that comes out through Masterson. I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yes, that's helpful. And my second question was that I wanted to make sure you're aware. I think I emailed you a week or two ago about how in my backyard, pre me owning it, my understanding was that several private citizens got together, and there is this kind of like drainage system in my backyard, that my understanding, it drains out to Sherman. And I've heard two different stories. One is that it's when Sherman gets backed up, there's some kind of flap that comes down on our system, and it becomes a contained system, which sounded too fancy to me to be possible. But basically what happens to me is everything backs up, and then my whole backyard becomes a pond. I think I sent you a video of my backyard.
Right, I've seen your video. Yeah, I've seen it.
And
Go ahead, finish your thought first.
oh yeah, and just that I also get flooding in my backyard. Sorry, in my basement. Luckily in Ida, I was home and I was shop vacuuming. My husband and I were shop vacuuming until 2 a.m. So I didn't experience probably the awful levels that of water that I know friends of mine on Sherman and Hamilton experience. But we do receive a lot of water in our basement as well in these events, and as well as on September 29th, we had a lot of water in our basement. So I was just wondering if you're aware of, I think you are aware of that system, and if you have any like views on it, or if it'll just be more alleviated by all these other solutions.
So Kristen, one of the things I'm aware, you're not looking at the drawing, but for the interest of everybody else, this is the pipe, that the red color that Kristen's talking about, that actually leaves some private drains have been installed in the backyard of all of these homes where my hand is circling around. And that is actually connected to a catch basin right here. That pipe that it's connected to is a size of 12 to 15-inch diameter, and it actually drains that. We're putting a 24-inch diameter pipe on the other side, parallel to your existing pipe, and we are going to reconnect your drainage system pipe to the new pipe system, which is going to provide a better conveyance and capacity to this system. There is no analysis that I have done as far as the design of your system, who laid your pipe and all of that. I haven't looked at it, but I'll be glad to look at it at the time when we're right there working on it, and even prior. But answer to your question, yes, your understanding is correct. The interception, if I may zoom out, and you'll see how I did the hydraulic analysis right here. This dotted line, for everybody who's looking at the map, you look at this and you see this dotted line is the drainage basin, where every drop that comes in and falls from sky and heaven right here drops and collects to this area right out here. And since I've bifurcated this into this red color marking lines, 2, 3. So all of the area that comes in from the top in this area, it's going to be intercepted with this green line. So anything that used to come in and naturally drains to the backyard of these people are going to be collected and pushed out. So Kristen, your backyard will be improved as far as my analysis is concerned. that the flood that used to come in from the northern streets back onto Elm Rock should be intercepted and pushed out more westward towards Elm Rock Road to another basin. And the new capacity on Sherman Pike should also aid fast drainage of your backyard. The only thing that I have to look at it is the design aspect and the catch basins and the pipes that are privately installed to see if they are in good shape and all that.
Okay, wonderful. And I was able to look at your maps now that I'm parked.
Oh,
So
good.
I appreciate the visuals, and this all helps a lot. And thank you so much for all the work you're doing. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Chrissy. You're welcome. So,
AJ, can you explain what construction's going to happen on Homesdale as it crosses Pondfield and goes down to the catch basin in Mount Vernon?
Yeah.
What can Homesdale? I know a couple people, or at least one resident from Homesdale's on the video.
yeah, I'm just gonna put those sheets on so you can look at it. Just let me look at and search for it. Just 1 second. All right, so you see how this pipe coming in from Hamilton, basically this is Sherman right here. I'm sorry, Sussex right here, right? From Sussex, where the drain pipe, the new drain pipe is gone, just the same, right? Parallel to the old pipes that are there, crosses Pondfield and goes down a little bit of a stretch of a Pondfield before it continues downhill into Homesdale, right? So the next sheet, it's not the Sussex, I'm sorry. Let me look at the streets I'm looking at. That's Pondfield. That's Pondfield. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in.
Yeah, that's Homesdale.
Yeah, so if you, I'm gonna zoom in and see if I can pan it out better this way. So that's the thing. So the pipe that currently runs in Homesdale is where my hand goes. It's in the grassy area off the road right here, right? And this new pipe that is going to be installed will be in the confines of the road itself. And we will be on this side of the road. I would call it like the eastern edge of the road. And that's where this pipe is going to go. The size and the diameter of this pipe selected is not much different than the existing pipe. And it's going to be a 36-inch diameter pipe that's going to go on. The depth of the pipe, as you can look at it, is pretty deep. And the purpose of being deep is we are providing a positive slope to this so it can provide an ample capacity to the system. As part of the improvements of Elm Rock itself, we will be adding 2 more collector catch basins to keep the streets more clean in that neighborhood. And that would drain specifically into the new pipe. This pipe is going to carry itself on along the eastern edge of the road within the blacktop area, past Sturgis, where you're going to basically see nothing but a couple of manholes as we're going, installing at each intersection of the road. Let me go to the next sheet. I think we lost the Sturgis right here.
Right, that looked right, and then you had the next section there where.
Yeah, that's the one. And we have some big chambers where catch basins are being installed. We're also putting some sort of a flow control chambers just to make sure that we protect and prevent from downstream people from excessive flooding. There is some improvements in the downstream pipes required to provide the utmost capacity, the maximum capacity of the relief that our system can provide to all the upstream residents and all that. But up until these downstream improvements are not taken into place, we are basically putting a flow control chambers that will regulate the flows to the levels that will prevent any kind of excessive flooding downstream. Again, don't get me wrong, the system that we're installing is going to be improving our capacity in the pipe by upwards of 400% and all of that. So that's the quick answer. And the pipe
And
continues.
it's going to run sorry, AJ, it will run continuous. It's going to be a new addition, not replacing the older pipe.
No, and I was going to show you the older pipe, as I indicated to you earlier, is actually further east in the dirt on the other side of the curb line. It actually zigzagged the road, and notice this, from this point on, it turns itself right this way and start carrying itself on the western side. And again, that carries itself into the grassy area underneath the trees, difficult to maintain, buried manhole. It was a challenge for us to even study that pipe right out here. So this pipe that we're putting in it will be in the roadway, independent of the old. We're going to keep the capacity of the old alive because we want to make sure that we maximize the drain capacity for our system. And as it continues, I'll show you where it ends. As you can see, the pipe still continues to the along the eastern edge of the road, but within the right of way of the pavement, and then ultimately meets the catch basin that currently exists at the intersection of Locust and Homesdale. And from that point on forward, it's the existing pipe that carried itself. And I've discussed those analyses with Jim and the earlier presentation, that those pipes are not in bad shape. There's minor improvements that are needed for them, and that would be discussed at a later stage.
Right, but they'll be able to contain the new capacity of the new pipe plus the old pipe.
I've done my analysis, yes. I don't know how good they maintain their pipe, and every system needs its own maintenance and all of that. And if it doesn't, and there are some flat sections of the pipe which restricts the flow a little bit, and before it surcharges, that's one of the reasons why I have installed a flow restrictor. They're called flow control chambers. We do these kind of designs in major cities where you have combined sewer inflows and all that. And these restrictors are great. You can just choke the capacity of the pipe to your liking and to the desired to answer the needs of the downstream system. So we have the system to make sure that they will not be impacted aggressively.
AJ, during the project, is there any incremental benefits mid-project, or are all the benefits only when the project is fully completed?
Well, these pipes will be connected. As I said, this is the downstream area you're looking at it. The project really starts from the downstream system, right? Because it's easier to do the construction when it starts from the downstream. I think the contractor is going to start that way. But as he's doing it in the midstream, we will be focusing on and testing these pipes as they're going up. And as they're going, you see this old system there? That's the old system, and I'm connecting the old system to the new system right here, right here. So I think what's going to happen as you're doing, you're going to have an enhanced capacity and a smoother, flow of water. More capacity is going to come in, and as you're improving the system, it's good thing is, Mayor, that we don't have agencies to approve this thing, and we wait for all of that before we put into service. We can basically test it and put into service as it's being constructed. So as we're moving it forward, whichever the portion you've completed, that 25, like all these catch basins, will be new. So all of this improvements is gonna assist the whole system. But ultimate improvements you're gonna see when the whole system is gonna be completed. And I'll show you that screen, and that's this screen. So if you...
But there will be segmented improvements is what you're
Absolutely.
saying.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yep.
It will be, as I said, the project's gonna start, this is the overall improvement there. So as the project starts from here, if you're completed,
Yep.
say, for example, you only completed Homesdale and nothing else, then you will improve the entire system, and the flooding in that goes into Sunnybray from Pondfield. We'll be adding pipes in Pondfield. We'll be adding pipes in Sussex. So as you're moving forward, you're going to be improving that portion of the downstream system.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
I have another question, if it's okay. It's Kristen Smith again. Does this project require like Mount Vernon approval, or is this something that we do on our own, or is it like dependent on other approval processes?
Mount Vernon, in my understanding, I've submitted all these plans and discussions and prior discussions with Jim. Jim, you have been in contact. You can answer better, but they are aware that we are basically addressing the ills in our system. We're not. You're not creating more flood. You're not adding more pipes. You're basically improving the pipes that are there. For example, right here, Kristen. If you're looking at the maps, we have an 18-inch pipe and we have a 24-inch pipe. You know, look at the combined capacity of that. All what we're doing, we're putting a 136-inch pipe right out here. We feel the capacity of this 18 and 26-inch pipe, just because it's laid so poorly, when I say poorly, it's laid at a flatter grade and all that, it just fills itself up, and the capacity is only good enough to handle 2 to 5 year storm events. So all what you're doing is you're enhancing. When you look at the, let me put the hydraulic model that I did. When you look at the model right out here, you're looking at, I don't know, are you able to see this model on the screen?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
back home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could see this all goes up, and it doesn't surcharge anything right out here. We're just adding bigger sloping lines right here that way, just to make sure the capacity increases and all that. So we're not improving the land. We're not creating any new improvements as far as new floods and all that. We're just trying to provide a better conveyance of the existing flood that actually happens. Answer to your question, I haven't done the coordination. I've submitted all my documentation to Jim, your office, and I've seen some emails that you have coordinated with Mount Vernon. I don't know how far you've done this coordination, and do we need to sit down with them again? I know we're dealing on the other projects with Eastchester on a regular basis. I'm not sure if Mount Vernon has received the final plans and all.
Yeah, not this final design now, but of course, and you've been at some of those meetings that we've met with Mount Vernon out on Locust, where we share that border, and you know, and expressed to Mount Vernon that yes, long term, I think everyone can benefit by them making certain improvements down Central Parkway. And more importantly, through Hunts Woods, where all this water and much of that section of Fleetwood in Mount Vernon drains too. So, and you and I have talked about that.
Yeah. So I've done the hydraulic analysis, Jim, which if you haven't shared it, you can share it with Mount Vernon. Just by minor improvements in their system, they can enhance their own capacity. We can set up a meeting just like you have set it up with Eastchester, just to make sure that they have received the final set of plans. And if they have any comments, obviously that's what we're doing. The plans are now ready to communicate with all the involved agencies. Good question, Christian, but yes, we will be definitely doing all this before the construction starts.
Thank you.
Sure.
Do we have other questions for AJ from the residents?
Yeah.
All right, like I said, I will, yes, I'll make the recording available for everyone and, AJ, and I think I'll put that project schedule slide also out there since, everyone's gonna be anxious for that, and I think it's largely in keeping with, what we've been expressing to everyone along the Hamilton and Sussex area. We recognize the urgent nature of it. So, unfortunately, yeah, and I'm not.
We're walking the project with all the contractors this Wednesday, just the day before Thanksgiving. We're lucky that all the contractors are available and they agreed to meet with us. So I'll have better answers on schedule, on cost and everything as soon as I get a response back. We're giving these guys not more than a week to give us all their questions and all that. So we should have.
AJ, you'll be walking both lines. You're not just walking the
Yes.
Hamilton-Sussex.
Well, we're walking both projects.
You're
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
Okay.
both projects. That's why all
and
the
down to
projects-
Homesdale, all the way to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, Holmesdale to Masterton, I'm sorry, Elm Rock to Masterton, and Sherman, Sussex, Hamilton, Holmesdale, everything.
Right, and to that point, for some of the others that were not in the previous discussions, the village is quite familiar and has already vetted the quality work of these contractors, and we're going to be piggybacking, if you will, on an emergency contract that the board had awarded last year to these contractors. So AJ's already advised them of the work, that you've already walked with them to a certain extent. They know the urgent nature of it. The board has already vetted the quality of their work. But now they're going to have they're going to be bidding on these specific plans, and they'll have specific quantities to calculate their expenses on. So
AJ, how did you look at costs when you were creating this final plan, or the you know?
So good question. I mean, look, there's not just the cost. The couple of things that are in my design thoughts from the beginning, and I presented that to you in the village earlier as well. Where our goal is to design this project to the maximum available capacity, so you don't have to go back and increase the capacities again and again. So the idea after doing the hydraulic analysis, with all the limitations, all the utilities, the grades and all that, we're putting the maximum size that's available right here. That's number one answer. Number two, there are different ways to do the construction as far as picking heavier pipe and difficult construction, and a trade-off it comes into play, what cost benefit analysis, not just that, but basically the construction timing and all that. So we picked the ADS pipe. ADS pipe is the PVC corrugated pipe, which are pretty strong pipes. You have it in the airports and you have it every place else, but the construction is much faster.
What's it called?
It's the Advanced Drainage System Pipes, ADS pipe.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the ADS pipe, there's also two different kinds of piping system that are suitable for storm drainage. One is called N12 watertight systems. They're both going to be watertight systems. And the second one is called a HP storm pipe. HP storm pipe is more expensive, more sturdier, but really not much of a big life expectancy factors and all that, and characteristics are pretty much the same, but the cost of the material is a little bit expensive. So any place we are digging deeper and like shallower than 18 inches and deeper than 10 feet, I proposed using a HP storm pipe. And for the sake of construction and faster moving, the N12 pipe will be used. They both are ADS pipe. And that's pretty much it. Catch basins and manholes, they're all going to be precast concrete, H20 loading conditions. All of these conditions will be highway grade H20 loadings. That pretty much is the design. There will be some chambers that I'm adding into it as based on our past experience and all that, and they're called flow control chambers. And we designed these flow control chambers to address our downstream needs. Yeah. Outside of that, it's a pretty straightforward design.
AJ, it's just confirming that it's your expectation and Jim's expectation that there'll just be one contractor for the whole entirety of the 2 lines.
We're
Correct.
hoping. We're hoping. Well, it may not be, but most likely it may very well be beneficial for us to even keep 2 contractors. It's sometime if things goes wrong during construction with one guy, it affects his mobilization and construction on the other sites as well. We are lucky to have one of the 2 good qualified contractors who bid on our emergency repair contract. We're entertaining the 3rd contractor as well, who could be a sub for one of the 2 contractors. They are all 3 very qualified contractors. MTS being 1, Landy being 2, and Zonzini is a local smaller contractor that has done similar projects, not this size, but similar type of projects for drainage improvements before. I think it will be benefited if you have more than 1 contractor there. And then again, obviously, answer to your question, Helen, if there is cost is a factor. So if the 1 contractor gives me, they are both all contracts are bidding on both projects. So we'll have to look at it and give you recommendations once I have all the documentation with me.
Thank you.
Hey, AJ, on the flow control systems that you're putting in, I assume those are rate limiting, so that would potentially cause the pipe not to go down as quickly, correct? If the downstream became overwhelmed or that sort of thing. Is that the purpose of the control system?
Yeah. So it's a unique design. It's if I show you a picture, it would be easier to. All right. Did I lose the project? Right here. I did not. All right.
Landy.
So there's going to be nothing but a manhole as you're looking at it right here. And there's going to be a dividing wall in between. The wall will have a small opening right there on the top. So if a surcharge comes in, it can just go through the openings right out here. But essentially, there's going to be a stainless steel aluminum plate right here, guided into the 2 channels, which has different holes. You're looking at the plate elevation right here. This is the plate cross section you're looking at. So you basically can slide in as you want, as much you want to restrict the flow. And then if you restrict it too much, the flow doesn't stop, obviously, right? So what'll happen, it will go out from these pipes. And when it goes out from these pipes, it would go, I'll show you one of the picture right here. That's the chamber right there. So you go out from these 2 side pipes and have a sheet flow right to the street, as if it's normally sheet flows in the street, but the flood would be confined in the street between the curbs. And we selected these locations where the street drains itself much faster. As you can see these contours right here, so you can see that. So at that point, everything is sheet flowing anyway. So this pretty much gives you a insurance and protection. You know, if the downstream improvements takes a longer time, you can change those plates differently. It's nothing but just choking the system, but designing it in a sense that it doesn't it doesn't impact the overall design of the project, and gives us the ability to design the maximum capacity for the system, so we don't have to go back and design it differently.
No, that's clever. Thanks, AJ.
You sure? And pretty much that's it. And we're just hoping that these contractors are ready and excited and give us a very quick answer after this Wednesday.
All right, great. All right, thanks, AJ. All right, any other comments, thoughts? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the meeting off.